One question is how are we going to get all of these societies that are at
and these 7 billion
loggerheads,
people,
to see themselves in non-zero sum arrangements with everyone else, and what will have to change to make that possible? And my concern with religious fundamentalism, and not all religions equally, but my concern is that these are the beliefs that are held most closely. They're the least negotiable. I mean, they're by definition non-negotiable. These are my faith-based beliefs. Are the beliefs that if you challenge them, that will by whatever evidence or whatever argument, I will take that as a personal insult, and I will want to resort immediately to violence or the threat of violence.
Yes.
I will want blasphemy laws. I will want to pass a law at the UN that will give you jail time if you say the wrong thing about my holy book.
How can you? Because I think you're about to talk about sort of gender issues, but you're once again
It's not just
use
gender; it's free thought issues. It's science.
Surely, but the metric by which we evaluate them is a distinct metric drawn from another narrative, and we might say, oh bloody hell, women dressing like that or whatever. We can't. I don't think we're in a position to make those kind of decisions.
Of course we are. Of course we are. You don't think you're in a position?
Why do you think that their narrative should adhere to our template?
Well, first of all, so you imagine that most women forced to wear a burqa.
I don't know about forced. And my experience
they're
in my
all
conversation
they're all being forced.
has been that it's more that we ought to regard it. But I've asked Muslim women about it, and they said it's like a discipline, and we dig it.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, yeah. But first of all, I'm talking about a burqa. I'm not talking about someone going to Barnard who elects to wear a headscarf because she likes the way Linda Sarsour looks.
I don't like the imposition of our heterogeneous, hegemonic ideas of how masculine and feminine relationships work might not be universally applicable.
No, it is.
No,
something is universally applicable, and if it's not universal, we can understand those differences. So if there's a culture where they like spicy food and we don't, but eating spicy food is just another way to be happy as an ape. We can understand those differences biologically and culturally. The idea that it just may be as good a solution for the how to maximize human well-being to put half the population in bags from the moment that and not let them learn to read. I mean, now I'm taking Afghanistan. I'm taking the local case of Afghanistan under the Taliban. And it may well fall back. I mean, it's actually Afghanistan currently as well. You're talking about women who have almost the worst possible life on planet Earth. I mean, we're talking about maternal mortality rates that are off the charts. You're talking about illiteracy that you have to go back 200 years in the West to find that level of illiteracy. I think this is precisely the kind
of reasoning that's used to justify the bombing and commercial colonization of those territories. They're not like us. They treat women different from us. I don't think we're in a position to make those judgments.
Okay, so then tell me how you would react to this. I
systems?
have 2 daughters, and if I were thinking the way you were thinking about this issue, what if I thought it would be a great idea to have a cultural exchange program where I just sent my daughters over to Afghanistan to live with a Taliban family? So rather than go to summer school here and get prepared to go to an Ivy League college or whatever it is, I send them to live with the Taliban.
You don't need to explain all this to me. I see where you're going.
Okay,
I'm not 9 years old.
No, but
Sam, darling.
Listen, my point you got to answer it.
All of your thought experiments. Well, I'm from a Western culture. I've been indoctrinated differently.
So you're saying there's no right or wrong here,
I don't
really?
think that I'm not in a position. I think it's very different. Me saying I've been born in the West, I've grown up in the West, my daughter's born in the West. Now impose upon her a totally different set of values. I wouldn't want her to go to the Deep South either. There's all sorts of things. I wouldn't want her to go to places in Britain.
You don't think it's unlucky to be born a girl in Afghanistan 5 years ago?
I think that these kind of sort of theoretical tableaus are used to create a false hierarchy and a moral superiority by a dominant culture that subsequently uses thinking of this nature to underwrite the modern day colonization and subjugation of these people on a massive scale.
But for you to withhold judgment of the burqa makes absolutely no sense. Again, it comes back to the power of ideas. And I think one of the worst ideas going, really, is the one that you've expressed here, which is, who am I to judge? I'm just a white guy who grew up in the Western context. Who am I to judge the burqa? this kind of moral relativism, postmodernism.
I'm not a
that,
postmodernist.
well, no, but I mean,
I'm starting
this
from
is
the
the
perspective of.
I know you don't want to answer that name, but this is the intellectual trend that gave us this kind of apprehension around making these judgments, right? Who am I to say what would be a good life for somebody else